suggested perhaps we do it this time, so we did.
Where's the straight A fund funded this? I saw it.
Out of the lottery, 15 million out of the
Still,
lottery.
I thought it moved. I
To
thought it
lottery.
said.
It was, yeah, last time it was not in the lottery, it was out of a special purpose fund, a DPF fund,
So it's back
because
to
they
lottery.
funded it out of ending balance revenue, one-time revenue. We moved it into the lottery.
It's back to, that's
Yep.
where it was initially at the very beginning.
I think that's, yeah.
You say you're gonna have more charts on the LGF?
Middle of the week,
Formula.
early week, middle of the week, yeah. It makes these printouts look like nothing. 1,308 townships,
Yep.
900 cities and villages,
Counties are probably thrilled with that.
88 counties. Look, this is, this LGF, it is a, I mean, I think it's a good proposal. I think I think it's appropriate that a portion of this formula be distributed based on, the LGF be distributed on the basis of capacity.
And what did you say the capacity measure would be?
It's different for each of the entities, right? So for counties, it's 80% sales tax, 20% property tax. For cities, it's 100% income tax. For townships, it's 100% property. For villages, it's either property or income, depending on if they, because there's a bunch of villages that don't have an income tax, and so for them, it's property tax.
What was the science behind the 20% of it?
That is that we looked at the makeup of the revenue of the general fund. I mean, essentially, we looked at the general fund, where the general fund revenues of these entities came from. Again, the tax revenues.
Just tax, it doesn't
Yeah.
affect like casino.
No,
counties
we
aren't
didn't
gonna
look
be
at, we
adjusted.
didn't, because we didn't look at that. Because we couldn't create a capacity measure like we could for the major tax sources. I mean, again, all that is intended to do is to create an array of the districts, to identify, what's the capacity, per capita capacity, comparable across all the types of these entities, and then determine a formula to make payments. Again, the lower your capacity, the higher your payments are going to be. And they'll all key off the average. They'll all key off the average. Everybody will get a payment. The highest capacity entity will get in each of the will get a payment.
So for village,
Gain cap?
so for villages, it would just be based on what their actual situation is. If they don't,
Well, if they levy a
don't have an
tax-
income tax, it will be based on their
It's on
property
property.
level.
It's based on property, and then if they do, then they'll be. So the villages are split into two pools: those with income taxes and those without, essentially. And then so they'll be separately arrayed and compared to each other based on the capacity.
Do you have a sense, just from when you've probably seen some of the numbers, is there a general type of county, city that benefits most from that formula versus the way it's done now?
Not unlike the school funding formula, if there's kind of an irrational determination that has resulted in the current situation, even the most rational of policy adjustments creates peculiar results. And so you cannot look and say, there's not an obvious pattern. But generally, it will go to those jurisdictions where they have a less capacity. So,
Counties will probably follow with the MHIC thing pretty closely.
well, to some degree, with the exception of the fact that, remember that there was some of the lower capacity counties are beneficiaries of a provision that was put in at the time of the local government fund changes in 2011. There's a $750,000 minimum LGF payment, and so counties who benefit from that currently, won't see as big of a jump as they might have in the absence of that. So again, it kind of skews the results a little bit.
Are those minimums protected in this plan, or they go away?
The minimums are adjusted, but they will remain.
Adjusted how?
I believe that they are adjusted by like 5% the first year and 10% the second year to reflect the phase-in of the new fund.
Okay. Down, 5% down.
Yes, yes, right. So it'll, I mean, yeah.